For almost 30 years, Voller Law Firm has been winning serious injury and death cases for clients. They have collected millions of dollars on behalf of their clients and belong to the prestigious $1 Million Advocates Forum. When insurance or a wrongdoer won't pay for what they took from you, go with an award-winning firm with a track record of results. At Voller Law Firm, results matter. Make sure you go with lawyers that have the experience, ability, and financial power to hold those that hurt you accountable. Put your trust in Voller Law Firm. Give them a call at 662-323-0083.
You're listening to Thunder and Lightning on SuperTalk Mississippi, covering Mississippi State sports like nobody else. With Sports Talk Mississippi's Brian Hadad and Robbie Faulk of On3 Sports. Now get ready for Thunder and Lightning.
Thunder and Lightning here on Super Talk Mississippi. Brian Hadad and Robbie Faulk here with you on a Monday morning. Thanks for joining us here at supertalk.fm or wherever it is that you get podcasts from. We appreciate you guys out there, our great listeners, especially our servicemen and women out there taking care of us. I want to thank our sponsors over at Strange Brew Coffee House and Churn and Spoon Ice Cream. Start your day the right way with a trip to the drive-thru over at Strange Brew Coffee House here in Starkville or at Brupolo over in Tupelo. Be a little weird, Robbie, if Brupolo was in Dublin.
Would be a little weird, but here we go. Here we go, Steelers.
There you go. I set that one up for you.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
I did not enjoy that game at all in the fourth quarter, but at least they won.
You had at least one moment of joy this weekend. I didn't have any, and I'm not going to. The Saints haven't finished yet, but if the Saints win, I'll be pretty impressed.
You can call it joy, I guess. We're one step closer to 9-8.
Yeah. Well, I'm wearing my Giants hat today. If the Giants win, they will finish 81-81.
Excellent.
Exactly what I predicted at the beginning of the season.
Is this the last game?
Today is the final day of the season.
Okay.
So, wherever you are in our great
state,
state,
baseball playoffs.
Yeah, wherever you are, I'm glad that somebody is.
Well, my team is probably going to bow out in the wild card.
Yeah, well, they could still win the division, couldn't they?
I don't think so.
Oh, you got me wanting to look now. We're going to go ahead and get off the rails here.
Well, Blue Jays and Yankees are tied.
If they win and the Blue Jays lose.
That's true.
I just from the way the standings are set here, I don't know who has a tiebreaker. They may have to go to another game. They might have to play another game.
The Yankees have had a good finish.
They're 9-1 in their last 10, I see. Yeah, very good. Wherever you are in our great state, you can enjoy Strange Brew Coffee each and every morning. It's just a click away at strangebrewcoffeehouse.com. The Mississippi Beef Council wants to remind you that beef, it is what's for dinner. If you're cooking out this weekend, nothing beats the sizzle of beef on the grill. If you're cooking for your family during the week, beef is the ingredient you want to use. It makes every meal just a little bit better. It's got a lot of versatility. You can use it, if you want to cook Mexican, if you want to cook Italian, if you're cooking Asian, if you're cooking Cajun, whatever it is, beef can be the main ingredient and the star of the show. Beef, it's what's for dinner, thanks to our friends, the Mississippi Beef Council. College Corner, collegecornerstore.com is the place to find the maroon and white merchandise that you are looking for. And you are going to be looking for it. You're looking for stuff with the new logos, the state script. You right there?
Well,
Fantasy football?
I mean, the first thing that pops up when I go to search something on the internet is a story from Athlon Sports. This is an actual publication. People that cover sports. That 20 hours ago, Lane Kiffin's daughter catches attention with outfit. Like, God, what are we doing?
Well, if you want your outfit to catch attention, shop at College Corner. collegecornerstore.com. 2 locations in the Jackson area. Originally by Fleet Feet, followed by the Half Shell. If you want to get your outfit mentioned by Athlon Sports, you can do it at College Corner. Great segue, Robbie. Way to set me up for that. I know that was totally intentional.
You're welcome.
Restaurant Tyler is Starkville's flagship restaurant for lunch, dinner, Sunday brunch. Best meal in town is always going to be at Restaurant Tyler. The line was long at Sunday brunch, but the results were worth it. Every restaurant in this town this weekend had a great weekend. And Restaurant Tyler, certainly among them. We appreciate you guys visiting our sponsors as much as you can. And we pay you back by sending you to the best places in town. So, again, going to be a little while before we have a home game, but if you're in Starkville for any reason around lunch or dinner time, the place to go is Restaurant Tyler. Priority One Bank, 16 locations here to serve you throughout central Mississippi. Let PriorityOneBank.com be your guide and show you not only how they're going to help you invest and manage your money, but how they're going to help you prepare for the future. Now more than ever, when you have questions about your money, you need to have answers. You need to be able to talk to somebody who knows you the same way they know your money. You need to talk to the good people at Priority One Bank. Let Priority One Bank make you their priority.
By the way,
Oh,
the Blue Jays have the
tiebreaker.
tiebreaker.
Okay.
And I guess we have one more game. Blue Jays play the Rays today, and the Yankees are taking on Jordan Westburg and the Orioles. So we need
you need
Jake Mangum
show
to
up
get the job
for you.
done. I need Jordan Westburg to strike out.
Just take a day off.
I mean,
Take a day
Westburg
off.
can have a good game.
Yeah, as long as this team loses.
Yeah, that's fine.
So there you go. In overtime, Tennessee 41, Mississippi State 34. If for the unbiased observer, of which I know there are a few here on this podcast and listening right now, an unbelievably good college football game. Back and forth, big plays, momentum-defining plays, and in the end, Mississippi State comes up just a little bit short. What happened on Saturday? What do we need to know? Tell them, Faulk.
Well, I come away from this game with the Larry David gif.
Yeah.
It was one of those games where, yes, it was incredibly frustrating. The way that it played out was unbelievably frustrating because you had a team in Mississippi State that had every ability to go win that game. You're up 7 with, I guess they started that drive with under 8 minutes left, that last drive where they went and scored. You get a stop right there, you probably win that ball game. And you're sitting there and you're just trying to will it into existence with your mind, but you can slowly see it unraveling for Mississippi State. And I think eventually they just kind of got gassed out there at the end. But if you look at this game in its totality and you look at the effort that Mississippi State played with, how hard they played, how they overcame their own mistakes, we can look at it both ways. Mississippi State shot itself in the foot repeatedly to the point where there was almost no more foot left. It was completely decimated. But every single time they seemed to find a way to overcome it. And that has been this Mississippi State team. Eventually they couldn't overcome it anymore. And I think that plays into the fact that this team and this program is still trying to find its way back to being a consistent winner, a big winner. But they're not far away. This team is not far away. There are holes within this team. There are tremendous flaws, but they play their guts out. And for that, if you are a Mississippi State fan, you can't come away from this game and say Jeff Lebby's not it.
Right.
I know he hasn't won an SEC game yet. That's coming. I know he hasn't been to a bowl game yet. That's coming. I just see it. That's why I predicted this team to win over the week. I thought that the belief in which they preach on a day-to-day basis, the confidence that they have, I really felt like this team was going to win this game. And as the game was playing out, I felt like this team was going to win this game. They just didn't do it. And I don't think it was lack of effort. I don't think it was lack of wanting to win the ball game. I think what you saw was a team that's done it and a team that hasn't. And Mississippi State, make no mistake, they found a way to win a big game against Arizona State, and that game I think is looking bigger and bigger as the year goes on. But I think on Saturday it just got to a point where there was too many mistakes. There was to me a drastic difference in talent on the line of scrimmage, talent and depth, and I think that played a big factor in this ball game. But I do not come away from this game questioning whether or not Jeff Lebby can win here, because I truly believe it. And he's not devoid of any kind of fault in this game. There was some play calling question marks. There were some things that he did that didn't make a whole lot of sense. But he's the one that got this team on the field. He's the one that puts a belief in their minds every single day that they can go out there and they can beat a Tennessee team like that. And they never once believed they couldn't. I don't think that ever entered their mind that they coming in this ball game that they didn't have a chance to win this game. They thought they could win it, and they were right there on the cusp. So, looking back on it, I have a lot of respect for Mississippi State and how they played that game. They looked like a Mississippi State team of old. They looked like a Dan Mullen Mississippi State team. And this season's starting to play out a lot like that 2009 season, I think. I think that it was.
You reading my notes over here?
I think that makes a lot of sense when you look at how that team, you look back at the LSU game in 09, you look back at some of those games where they were so close, Georgia Tech, Houston. That's what this team's starting to look like, and I'd sign up for that. Although I think that Mississippi State could really use a bowl game this year. We'll see how it plays out. These injuries are very concerning. The hit that this roster's taking is very concerning. But the fact that they lost those players yesterday and they still were in position to win this game, that speaks a lot on this team just doing whatever it takes to find a way. So very frustrated, disappointed in the outcome of the game. There was a lot of things that are frustrating in this game, and I know we're going to get to. But at the end of the day, I want State fans to understand that you are in a good place with Jeff Lebby. This program is in a good place, and it's getting better and better. This is the time that Mississippi State fans need to invest. Mississippi State fans need to get on board here. They need to get behind this team and buy in because I really believe that things are about to take off with Jeff Lebby.
Good stuff. I agree with basically everything you said. So let's jump into it. As we always do, these are the things that are true. Brought to you by the good folks over at Bell Building Supply. For a long time, I've been telling you about the Big Green Egg with Bell Building Supply, which I consider to be the top of the line, the premier cooking apparatus for your outdoor kitchen. Let me tell you about some of their other outstanding products. And we're talking about top tier here, guys. We're talking about this is the best of the best. If you are in the market right now, if you're looking for a new fridge, a new dishwasher, or a new range or oven, the Sub-Zero, the Wolf, the Cove lines available at Bell Building Supply, they are as good as they get. I know people here, oh, I'm going to get a new range. I'm going to get a Viking. This leaves Viking in the dust with the kind of quality and incredible performance you're going to get from these products. Installation is available with Bell Building Supply, and if you buy from Bell Building Supply and they install it, it adds another year to your warranty. So think about, sometimes you order these things from Lowe's or whoever, the big boxes. Those guys don't know anything. They're just showing up and they're putting it in the house. They don't know the specifics of what you've ordered. With Bell Building Supply, you get that personal touch of installation, and that makes it a better process for you. Check out their website, subzero-wolf.com, if you want to look at the full product line. Get an idea of what we're talking about here. These are incredible products. They are. I'm not saying they're top of the line. I'm saying they're the top of the line. There aren't better products available. And when you're ready to buy, call our friends at Bell Building Supply. They'll get it installed for you, and you will see the difference that these incredibly elite products make. All right. I got 9 of them, things that are true. Number 1, sometimes you just lose to a better team. And I feel like people just they want to just change this and just change that. Sometimes you just play a better team and you lose to them. And it's close and you had opportunities and yeah, you made mistakes, but they made mistakes.
They made just as big of mistakes.
You can say that, well, State's turnovers were immediately turned into points. Sure, but both of State scored off of both interceptions. So they turned into points as well. Sometimes you just play a better team and you're just not good enough. And that's the issue, is that State's not good enough yet. It's not about coaching, it's not about players, it's just about, by and large, Tennessee has been better for the last 4 or 5 years. That program isn't building, it's built. They're in a position where they're going to compete for the college football playoff now. Mississippi State's not there yet. And that's what happened on Saturday. They played a better team. State played, even with all the mistakes that State made, they played about as good as they were capable of playing. It's just not good enough against a team like Tennessee.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
State had to play a really, really clean game to win this.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, just like you said, they had an interception that turned into 6 points for Mississippi State. They had a muffed punt early on in the game that turned into 6 points. Yeah. It's even.
It balanced itself.
They had a touchdown that was called back on a pass interference.
The opposite of this scenario, if Tennessee had lost, there would have been a major inquest
Yeah.
Because they're like, well, how did this happen?
Mm-hmm.
What just happened? They're 3-2. Is Heupel what's going on here? Should they have kept Nico? Things of that nature would have been asked. It would have been a huge deal. So they were just better. And it sucks because you had a chance, but that's how it goes.
I think that is going to be right there with Georgia, probably the best team you play this year.
Yeah, I would agree.
If you look at the whole piece of what Tennessee is, I know they have issues in the back end of the secondary. I totally get that. But pass rush is elite. What they do in the front seven, that's elite. What they do there. They have 20 sacks now as a team through 5 games. Their offense is elite. Their offense, running the football, throwing the football, what they do offensively.
Great defensive line.
So the only thing that's a major flaw of theirs right now is the back end of the secondary, and it's because their 2 starters are out, who should be back pretty soon. So I think we're going to look back at this game. I think Tennessee is going to be a playoff team, and we're going to look back at this game and say, man, that could have been monster.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, just like you said, they just didn't find a way to win against a great team. It's hard to be really upset about it.
All right, number 2. If we're going to do the year 0 thing with Jeff Lebby, which I'm still not 100% sold on, but enough people are saying it now that, okay, I'll get on the bandwagon with it.
Thank you.
Then this was his 2009 LSU game. This was that game where, remember that game in 2009? LSU had the long punt return for a touchdown. There were a couple of plays here and there, but State just kept answering. And then at the end, on the goal line, they have an opportunity to do it, and they just come up short. And it's kind of similar in that, if you go back to 2009, everybody's saying, why would you leave Tyson Lee and let Chris Relf get in there and run the ball in? And people were saying yesterday, why would you leave Shapen in there? Let Camario Taylor run the ball there, which I don't necessarily disagree with. I would have found a play for him there. But this is that game. But that was the game for where going forward, you knew that Mississippi State was better. The way they played against LSU in that game, you were like, they're going to be okay. Mullen's a good coach. He's going to get this thing going in the right direction. I think that obviously it's a little different because you have that 2-10 year. It just hangs like an albatross right now. But yesterday I've seen enough from Jeff Lebby at this point. You know, Dan Wolken calls Jeff Lebby the worst major college hire of all time. That just goes to show you how little this man really truly knows about college.
Did he really?
Yeah. Yeah, you can Google that one. You don't have to just trust me.
I've always wondered why Dan Wolken is in this business. It just seems like he is so,
for a guy who
hates his job,
whose title is college football writer. You can get a lot of U.S. Open coverage from him when tennis is going on.
Yep.
On college football Saturdays.
And
it's like I never understood.
Get out.
But that said, like he said that if I'll just go and tell you, if State had won yesterday, one of my agenda items was to quote tweet that and bring some attention.
What is his reasoning on that? Did he say anything?
I think it's the Harbaugh.
Harbaugh. Yeah. It's totally
it's not anything about his ability to coach or recruit.
Because he lets his political agenda and his, like whatever he's thinking personally get into, and that you can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I just wonder if he even likes what he does.
Yeah, that's I agree. Excuse me.
I think Malik Neighbors just tore his ACL.
Yeah, I think it's bad. Also, for me, from a fantasy football sport, you don't see this very often. The Saints tried to run a trick play, and Chris Olave threw an interception. So I'm going to lose points from a wide receiver on an interception, apparently.
Oh.
Yep, there it is, -1.
Yikes.
Dog it, Chris. Anyway, number 3. The biggest miss of the offseason was not getting a real left tackle by any means necessary. And if there wasn't one in the portal, tamper one in. Get one in there and say, hey, we're going to pay you. You ain't got anything to worry about, but we got to get you at Mississippi State. Because that's the difference in the game yesterday, is State's inability to protect Shapen. If Shapen is limited, if you want to say that, hey, he's not good enough, well, then you darn well have to protect him. And giving up 4 sacks, I mean, some of these sacks he had no chance at. No chance whatsoever.
The fumble.
Well, let's get into that. Number 4. The fake punt / strip sack sequence, that's the biggest turnaround I've ever seen. Like, that fake punt could have been a knockout to Tennessee. They could have been like, oh, my God, we're in trouble. And for Mississippi State, I don't let me throw number 5 in as well. I don't hate the play call there.
Try to take a shot.
You got if you hit that touchdown there, you're going to win the game. You're going to go up 11 points in the fourth quarter. You're going to win the game.
That's exactly what Levy was thinking.
That's exactly what he's thinking, and he has to trust Jimothy Lewis to make the block to give him enough time to throw the ball deep to Brennan Thompson or to Anthony Evans or whoever he's going to go to there. So I don't have a problem with that. Well, I don't have a problem with the play call. I give Tennessee a lot of. First of all, I'll give Levy a ton of credit. The fake punt in that moment, one of the ballsiest calls I've ever seen. All right, I mean, Robbie and I are in the press box, and the snap goes, and I like grab Robbie, and I'm like, fake, 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 and Robbie, you just hear Robbie go, oh my God, and you realize he's going to get it. I'm like, dude, the press box was buzzing, like the Tennessee people in front of us.
State was about to knock him out right there.
I thought that was going to be it. By the way, real quick, never seen that much visiting media. Never. Yeah. We've seen Alabama come in here, the Auburn game in 2011 when he had a lot of national media, but even Auburn, Ole Miss, Tennessee brings a ton of people to these games. It's crazy. So stadium's going crazy. Tennessee could have gone into a shell a little bit there. Instead, they hit a huge play, and that's the difference in the game. That's the absolute difference in the game.
Well,
you can point to a lot of different things. Say, you miss a field goal here, you do this, you do that, whatever. If State just runs the ball to Fluff Bothwell and they go 3 and out and they do end up punting again, it's totally different.
I somewhat agree with you, but at the same time, it goes back to my point that I made a while ago is that State overcame that.
Mm-hmm.
They came right back and they ended up scoring a touchdown again.
They did, but
and they took the lead back.
What I would just say is
it would have further cemented that they were like taking over the ball game.
Right,
they would have got some.
If
right there, it was 2017.
It'd be 31-20.
Was it 24 to?
It was 24-20 when that play happened.
That's a 2-score game. That's
right. You're in really good shape.
Yeah.
But the other side of that is, like I said, let's just say that, okay, fake punt, 1st and 10. Fluff Bothwell off left tackle, gain of 3. Fluff Bothwell up the middle, gain of 2. Pass incomplete. You punt. The game is, I still think State might have won the game.
Even if they punt?
Yeah. Just getting the way that it happened brought Tennessee completely back to life. They were on the ropes, and instead they came off the ropes and landed a haymaker.
Well, it was kind of like the interception early, too, because State had gotten the muffed punt.
Yeah.
They held Tennessee to a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
So you had a little bit of momentum right there, and you throw a pick 6.
Mm-hmm.
They overcame all that, but I think I agree with you that it probably would have been over. And here's going back to the tackle thing. Everybody was so distraught in that going in that Southern Miss game that Albert Reese was listed as the starter over Jimothy Lewis.
Yeah.
And I tried to tell people, he ain't ready. He ain't ready for this.
Yeah.
If he was ready, he would have cemented his spot.
Yeah.
Well, just throw him out there and let him learn.
Right.
He's not ready for that.
Yeah.
Yesterday, he was absolutely destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
This was not a team that he could handle right now. And I think that Jimothy is really talented. I think he's going to be a really good player. But everything that I've heard about practice and retention and things like that, it's just not there yet. Unfortunately, State does not have the ability to put anybody else out there right now. I mean, they have nobody.
Yeah.
It's Javen James and him now.
Yeah.
And because Albert Reese, we don't have official word yet, but I'm not expecting good news from that.
Yeah.
And he's been your best offensive lineman.
By far.
It's totally ironic that we had a 10-page thread in week 1 about Albert Reese being listed number 1 on the depth chart, and here we are. But yes, you're exactly right. That was a mistake for them not being able to land a left tackle. And I don't know if it was just the lack of people in the portal for. I mean, one of the guys that we thought was Blake Steen was going to be left tackle.
Yeah,
he never was. He was right tackle.
Always right tackle. Yeah.
So that was a mistake. And the offensive line, it was kind of strange yesterday. The pass blocking was just it was rough, but that was kind of expected. Mm-hmm. The run blocking was. Jeff Levy mentioned this postgame. It was great, or it was not good at all.
Yeah.
Like there was no in between. They were busting off 15 yards a carry for 3 or 4 carries, and they were getting
nothing.
So
yeah,
I don't know. It's just the offensive line right now is just not really settled. I have faith in Phil Lodehold. I think he's a good coach.
he's getting there.
I think when he has a full cycle and he's able to get his guys,
Yeah.
transfer portal and everything, I think they'll be okay.
I think I'm at the point, and we saw earlier today, Mississippi State loses a high school commitment. I think State's just going to, at this point, going to have to, at some point, they're just going to tell you, like, it's portal. We're going to have to work.
I don't think this class is going to help you anyway.
No. So portal and
my favorite player in the entire class is J.J. Hill, and I don't think he's going to make an impact right away.
No.
So I would,
because next year you're going to have Fluff, and you're going to have Gayton, and you're going to have Seth Daniels.
I would address the high school class. I would do it a lot like what baseball's about to do.
Mm-hmm.
Every spot would be premium for me.
Yeah.
Every single guy that I got is it wouldn't be developmental players.
Right.
I would go hard after this collection of players that's going to help.
That's not what they're doing, though.
No, they're getting developmental guys. Yeah. And I would not do that. I would get guys that I think could help me pretty early, and then I would fill the holes with the transfer portal. I would probably do away with JUCO recruiting unless it's a guy that's just got to have.
Well, it's one of the, it's a guy
that, Montez Sweat,
a Power 5 guy who's at JUCO for other reasons.
Yeah, if it's a Brandon Jennings, or somebody that can come in and start right away, yes. But State got the #1 tackle in the country last year, and it appears he's redshirting.
Yeah.
So JUCO right now, I would kind of put that on the back burner. High school, it doesn't look like State's wanting to spend a lot of money in high school.
Yeah, simple as that.
And I don't think that's a bad thing. A lot of these high schoolers are staying for a year and transferring.
Yeah.
A year or two are transferring. It's a waste of money.
Just recruit them and
recruit them hard.
It,
but I'm not going to overpay for a kid that I don't. Is he going to be ready or not?
Yeah.
Transfer portal is probably where it's at, and I wouldn't go heavy portal every year, but that's what they're going to have to do next year again, probably.
Right. All right, number 6. I spent a lot of this offseason hyping up Devon Booth. But he should be the complimentary back to Fluff Bothwell. Fluff Bothwell is the guy. He's the guy who's going to carry this team. And I feel bad.
Booth's been good.
I feel really bad. He had a 62-yard touchdown run called back. What a crazy drive that was for State. They have a touchdown pass that gets dropped. I mean, Thompson's probably going to outrun that guy and score.
Mm-hmm.
Booth scores, and it comes back on a hold. And they still scored on the drive. They still scored a touchdown. That was a moment where I was like,
2 plays in a row.
I was like, they're going to be in this game until the end because they keep coming back. But Fluff Bothwell is the star here. All right. If Bothwell had gotten a touchdown in overtime, and that he might have been SEC Offensive Player of the Week.
And he is.
He's an SEC football player.
He's your future.
Yeah. You got to continue. He needs to be 20 carries a game. He had 18 yesterday, and I would have liked to have seen him have more.
That's kind of where we're at, though.
Yeah.
Because Bothwell, I'm looking at the stats now, he's got 70 carries to Booth's 51. I think they've kind of realized
they're
that.
Starting to figure it out there. But yesterday, Booth had 14 carries. I would have maybe had him with 10 and Bothwell with 22.
I feel like they
also it was Gayton. He didn't.
Yeah, I think they just wanted to stick with those two.
Yeah, I agree.
Game.
I agree.
I think it was fine.
Yeah.
But Bothwell, like there was a couple times I looked at you and I was like, where is Fluff?
Yeah.
Why is he not on the field?
Yeah.
I think sometimes they get coaches. I mean, not just Mississippi State, but I think coaches get lost in that sometimes in like the rotation, and they lose the feel. You know what I mean? Like they lose. Like Bothwell had 23 carries yesterday. He lost 1 yard. There was only once where he did not gain a yard.
And part of the reason State was less successful running the football later on is Reese was out.
Yeah. And you could tell a very big difference.
Yeah.
State's in trouble on the line.
Yeah. They're
absolutely in trouble. And that's kind of what sucks about this whole thing. Is you see this team is drastically better, and they're only going to get better, and now you're losing significant pieces.
Big players. Yeah. All right, number 7. You're obviously not going to redshirt him. You got to find more plays for Camario Taylor. Let's tell the story. I think I told it on the post game, but so in the first half, or they run a little something with Camario, and he jukes a guy, puts the leg down, and gets the guy.
It's either 3rd or 4th and short.
Yeah, and so we're sitting there. We're sitting next to a guy who's a scout from the Green Bay Packers, and I see him go, oh.
Yeah.
And Robbie and I both look over like, that's a name you want to write down and sort of keep in the book for a couple of years because, yeah. And he tells me, he's like, yeah, I was down on the field pregame watching the quarterbacks, and I saw him, and I said to one of the other guys, who the F is that? He's like, my goodness. And he's like, man, it's like, gotta find some more. He said something like, they got to find some more spots for him.
Mm-hmm.
Because
and they put him out at receiver one time, did a little jet sweep or something.
He needs some more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can look, if Bothwell gets you 6 yards on first down, you can bring in Kamara Taylor on second down and just go ahead and get the first down, or at least make it 3rd and 1, something like that. And eventually he is going to throw out of it. But I can't believe they didn't go the Mullen route there on the goal line and bring him in and then try a jump pass. I thought it was like, that's probably what I would have done. Not that I'm a coach or anything, but you got a guy who's that big of a weapon. You got to give him a few more snaps. If you're not going to redshirt him, he's got to get He's got to get more than 2 touches a game.
And again, I feel like we do this every week. We got to stop calling for Blake Shapen's job. He's
never going to happen.
It's not going to happen. But I think we can say that Kamara Taylor needs more reps. He needs to be doing more.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's very fair to say. It's also fair to say, please stop calling for Blake Shapen's job. Please stop saying he sucks, he's trash. He's not. He didn't have a good game yesterday, but he is the guy for the job right now. And that's how it is. This guy's going to be the leader of the team for the rest of the year. And the thing about this situation is Camario is a much better athlete than Shapen is.
Mm-hmm.
As far as physical build, ability, we can look at it and we can say Camario and Blake are like here.
Right.
But right now, Blake Shapen is a 5th or 6th year guy that's played a lot of Power 4 football. We don't know how Camario Taylor is going to react in assessing the defense pre-snap and the RPO elements and what does he do in this certain situation. All we've seen so far from Camario is mostly coming in there on 3rd or 4th and short and kind of taking it forward and getting the first down, which is great. But we haven't seen all the other stuff yet. So how can we sit here and definitively say he's ready for this spot right now? I think the best thing to do is to let him cook a little bit, let it simmer, let him slowly work his way into expanding his game offensively with Jeff Lebby and kind of ease him into it. I think what they're doing is fine. I just want to see a little more of him.
Yeah.
Because
again, if you're going to, it just comes down to this. If you're not going to redshirt him, he needs more than 2 touches a game.
He needs to play more.
Simple as that. He needs to be touching the ball 7 to 10 times a game.
He does things that you cannot do with anybody else.
Exactly. So
he's got the arm talent that he can beat any defense with what he does, and he has the legs.
You can run normal plays. It doesn't just have to be about a package. You can just put him out there and say, "Hey, run this play."
I wouldn't just make him a gimmick because he's not a gimmick.
Yeah, just
I would give him the opportunity. You need to let him throw the football a little bit.
Yeah.
The problem is there's not a whole lot of games that you can mess around with.
Well, they're all SEC games now. Yeah. But he just, I'm just saying again, the simplest statement is this: if he's gonna not redshirt, he has to play.
Yeah.
Don't burn his red shirt so that he can get 2 carries a game.
Yeah. He needs to do more. Right. And again, you need to let him use his arm a little bit so defenses can't just key in on one thing with him. Don't just come in there and do what you did with Chris Parson last year.
Right. Number 8. This is one I did not think I'd be saying at any point. But Lebby was wholly justified in keeping Coleman Hutzler. Look, I know they gave up 41 points and a bunch of yards yesterday. That's a good Tennessee team. They limited them on. The game plan was good. You said this while we were in the press box. They were going to not allow them to beat them on the ground. They were going to make them throw the ball. They were completely one-dimensional. The only big run they had in the game was the last touch they had.
They were averaging 3 yards a rush for the majority of the game.
Yes. I thought
it's one of the best rushing.
They were better in all three areas. That in the linebacker. I thought the linebackers played really well. I love what I'm seeing from Tyler Lockhart. That's a big piece for the future for Mississippi State. On the defensive line, Trevion Williams has played really well these last 2 weekends. You hope that's going to click. I just feel like by and large, Hutzler has done a good job. And yes, they've added some experience to that room with Rhodes and McIntyre. I'm sure that didn't hurt, but this defense looks totally different, night and day different than it did a year ago. The defense did enough to win the game.
They essentially gave up 17 points.
Yeah.
They gave up 17 points. I know they scored a touchdown every time, but if you look at regulation,
Yeah.
they gave up. That's right, isn't it? They had 2 defensive
20.
touchdowns.
20.
20.
Yeah. Because it's 34.
20.
34.
Okay.
Yeah.
20 points to a team that scored 40 plus on Georgia.
Yeah.
This is one of the best offenses in the country. Everybody said coming in the week, you're not going to stop Tennessee run the football.
Right.
They're going to run all over us. Just try to somehow keep them inside when they're in the red zone. Just keep them there and force field goals. This team averaged 3 yards a rush until very late when State was just gassed. State, they didn't just do a pretty good job against the rushing attack. They did a great job against the rushing attack.
Yeah, they were good.
They did a
really
great
good
job. And they forced Aguilar into a couple interceptions. You had 2 sacks, and that wasn't for lack of pass rush. Joey Aguilar gets rid of the football.
He gets rid of the football, and he can move.
The State put pressure on him.
Yeah.
I thought
But 2 sacks and 2 picks is great.
This is one of the better. I know that they still gave up over 400 yards. And the point. This is one of the better defensive games they've had in a couple years.
Yeah.
And it's
he made the right decision. I'll give him that one. There's no getting around it.
We saw people yesterday saying get rid of
somebody mentions, and they were like, "This defense is not good," and I'm just like, if you expected them to go from the worst defense in the SEC by the largest margin imaginable to good in one offseason, that's on you. They're better.
Our goal preseason was, can they be top 80?
Can they be top 80? They're well on their way to that. That's just a crazy.
I think fans just they get caught up in the emotion.
They're just mad.
They get caught up in the emotions.
That's right. And I'm mad. But you have to be able to separate yourself from this and look at it from a perspective of the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is that Mississippi State is so much better defensively than they were a season ago that you have to accept that.
Yeah.
So, all right, last one. This team will be in a bowl game and they will have one big upset this season. All right, if I'm going to play the 2009 game again with play with Mullen, that team did that. They had the big upset. They would have been in a bowl game with one more win. And if Larry Templeton on his way out the door isn't like, oh yeah, let's schedule Georgia Tech and Houston for 2 of the 4 non-conference games that year
when they were top 25 teams.
Yeah, if that team had played literally any other group of 6, group of 5 team back then, they go to a bowl game. They're 6-6. They go to a bowl game.
The team played 2 number 1 teams.
They played 2 number 1.
2 non-conference teams were ranked.
Both ranked. Yeah.
That schedule was
brutal.
Nuts.
This team they had a big upset that year. It was the Egg Bowl. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen here, but this team will be. This is I would not say that Florida and Arkansas are big upsets, right? So we're going to take them off the board. Texas, Georgia, Missouri, Ole Miss. They're going to get one of those games. I'm saying it right now. I don't know which one it is, but they're going to get one of them.
I believe that is going to happen. I'm a little concerned about the injuries, but I still think this team just finds a way.
Okay. There we go. All right, let's move into the last part of the show that's brought to you by our friends over at Two Brothers Smoked Meats in the heart of the Cotton District, where Robbie Faulk and I had a delicious lunch on Friday. Got to see some old friends there. Our good buddy Brooks Roberts. If you're a long-time Bulldog Sports Radio alum, you remember the name of Brooks Roberts. And our buddy Lee Battelle was there as well. So good times at Two Brothers. Hope you guys do that as well. Off weekend, but hey, if you're just in Starkville and you want to watch college football, there's just not really a better spot than Two Brothers because the food's awesome. There's plenty of big screen TVs, and the people there are so good. Go to the Cotton District and enjoy a great meal this weekend or this week at Two Brothers Smoked Meats and the Older Brother. Great products, great service. Every business likes to promise it to you. They deliver it to you at Advantage Business Systems. That's what they've been doing for 50 years. So on Thursday,
future Arkansas head coach Houston Nutt.
Thursday at Scruggs, we had two Mississippi State Tennessee tickets to give away, and I said the first person who comes in here and does Robbie's impression of Houston Nutt and says the word that you're supposed to say can have the tickets. And a few minutes later, this kid shows up and he's like, "Dogs by 50."
That's great.
And so he got the tickets. I hope he enjoyed them. I gave away 6 tickets to this game. I hope everybody had a good time. You will have a good time. Well, it's work. I guess the good times are kind of limited there. But if you want to make the process easy for yourself the next time you need a new copy or a new printer, call our friends at Advantage Business Systems, because not only do you get the piece of equipment that you want at a good price, you get great service after the sale. 601-362-9192 or visit them online, absms.com. Find out how Advantage Business Systems will help your business do business. I talked to a couple of people who shopped at Maroon & Co. this weekend, and apparently the stuff was just flying off the shelf there. And we're glad to hear that. Again, we always appreciate you checking out our sponsors. That makes it special for us. We like helping out Starkville businesses, and we like helping out Mississippi State fans with great places to shop, and we like giving you guys great deals. And I know the Thunder 15 code was in full effect this weekend at Maroon & Co. Hope you were able to use it. Guys, it is September the 28th as we're recording, which means we're just under 90 days to Christmas. It's time to start thinking about those kind of things. I'm a planner. You got a Mississippi State fan that you need to get something for, maroonandco.com or shop at Maroon & Co. And use our promo code Thunder15 to save yourself a little extra Christmas money. Next time you're in Starkville, before you go to Davis Wade, you got to go to Maroon & Co. All right, I mentioned our friends over at Scruggs. We were there this past Thursday. Awesome to see. All of the John Deere products were in effect there. And again, it doesn't matter what you're looking for. They've got it at Scruggs. I can't stress enough that everything that when they say their slogan is "We have what you want for less," both of those things are true. They have what you want and it costs less. Let me just make it like this simple. I did this on the air, Robbie. You buy 20-ounce drinks, right? How much does a 20-ounce Coke normally cost?
I don't buy 20-ounce drinks. What are you talking like you don't go to the grocery store and buy drinks?
Yeah, you ever just like stop at the service station and get a drink?
I mean sometimes, but I don't know. I don't know how much they cost. $2.59.
That's okay. I thought you were going to pull like the Arrested Development. It's a banana. How much could it cost? $10? Okay, yes.
Getting close.
$2.50 is a good price that's a normal price for a 20-ounce beverage, right? At Scruggs, a 20-ounce drink is $1.59. So something as simple as that, there's $1 difference. How much are you saving when you buy big stuff at Scruggs? They've got it all for you right there at Scruggs, including all of the John Deere mowers with 0% financing all over the place. It's like they're giving it away. Go check them out at Scruggs Farm, Lawn, and Garden in Saltillo. They have what you want for less. I don't buy 20-ounce drinks. Well, it must be nice.
I mean, is it somebody holding a gun to your head to go buy Coke?
No, but like when you stop at a grocery store, you're on the road and you stop at the gas station, you don't buy a drink?
Well, sometimes it's a Powerade, sometimes it's a Celsius. I don't always get a Coke.
This guy. Every time I try to come up with something like, hey, let's do this. Oh, I don't do that.
Like what?
You're just the worst.
What?
Oh, I love you.
You're way more finicky than I am.
Oh, yeah, I would absolutely agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to argue.
No, we're not arguing that.
It sucks when you're like prepared for argument and you're like, oh, no, I agree. Like, what? You idiot, you're supposed to disagree with me.
Did you want to argue for a second? Let's not do that.
What about?
Let's argue about something important.
Put that coffee down. Coffee's for closers only.
Coffee is for closers, brought to you by Strange Brew Coffee House. I was there. So they got a full new selection, by the way. I didn't mention of these Halloween-themed drinks. Pumpkin, not pumpkin spice either. Pumpkin. Pumpkin. Maple. A lot of good stuff. So go check it out. They got a full menu of them.
Basic white girl stuff.
No, this is not. This is not. Okay. This is high end good stuff.
Oh, the basic white girls are not high end. Is that what you're saying?
They'd like to be.
They'd like to be. They're posers.
Some of them are.
Oh,
yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a historic moment here on Coffee is for Closers, because it's possible that you listening are one of the people who gets no coffee. What happened in the stadium, as far as attendance, is inexcusable. All right. And I know, look, the faculty is an easy target, and there is a lot of the faculty is to blame in this situation. I mean, the first 4 rows of every section on the east side were Tennessee fans. No state fans involved. A lot of that is also that season ticket holders aren't buying those tickets on the east side, and so when these games happen, they become single game tickets, and they're just easy marks for visiting fans. This was worse than the Georgia game. Maybe it's because maybe I just think it's worse because the orange stood out so much against the white, whereas 2 years ago or 3 years ago, whenever that was, red and maroon, and that late in the year, you don't notice it as much. But this was
I can't remember. I know it's bad.
This was really bad. And this is something that, a big-time football program can't allow to have happen. You just can't allow that to happen. It can't be that way. This is something I say this in private a lot. I'm going to say it publicly, though. Like, a lot of Mississippi State fans, and this is coming from me, guys, and I'm not the one who likes to preach at you. I don't, if you can't make the game, you can't make the game. We're talking about people who have tickets. All right?
Yeah, this isn't for the people in Texas.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of people like, well, you don't have to give us
you don't
have to give us a reason.
I'm talking about people who have tickets and then they put them on the resale, and this is what happens. You don't deserve success. I had some people talking to me like, "Oh, I'm not going to wear a white shirt." Like, if Mississippi State can't convince you to wear a white shirt one game a year, then what chance does Mississippi State have to convince you to commit to NIL?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is part of being a big time program, is having that atmosphere was great yesterday. It was fantastic. It could have been better.
Yeah.
Because there were a quarter of the stadium was Tennessee fans.
I think
you can't allow that to happen.
I think Tennessee won that game in large part because at the end of the game it sounded like a home crowd.
They did. I'm going to say this, and it's because I saw somebody reply to a tweet of yours, and I don't want to hear excuses. Just fix the problem.
Yeah,
there's a problem. Fix it.
This is the problem that we have, and people are going to say, "Well, why don't y'all pay?" Well, we're not fans. I don't have to. If he wasn't doing this job, I would be at that ball game.
I would have been in my seat.
I've been going to Mississippi State games since I was 5 years old. I've had season tickets since I was 5 years old. I got into this business. I don't need the tickets anymore. But if I was out of this position, I would be at Davis-Wade Stadium. And every single time this comes up, there are people flooding the mentions with excuses for what. Don't give an excuse. Just either you're involved, either you are buying into this, or you're not.
You hear one of my favorite Southern sayings right there? Don't tell me about the labor pains. Just show me the baby.
Yeah.
All right? I don't care what the excuses are. There's a problem. Fix it.
We haven't preached to state fans in a couple years because the last time we did, a lot of people were.
I bet we're going to get people mad at us.
Here's the deal.
I don't care.
This conversation has to happen because
you can't look at what that stadium looked like. You can't look across at the east side and see that much orange and say that's not a problem.
If anybody left that game with any other thought process about the crowd, then that was embarrassing, then you're missing it. Because that should never happen. That should never happen. That was Vanderbilt-esque. Now, I give a ton of credit to the people that were there for creating an incredible environment.
And the students continue to deliver. The TIFO is a fantastic idea. Guys, as a soccer fan, I love to see that, and I want you guys to customize some. We need to get some printed up for the next, you got a month before Texas comes in here. There should be a horns down TIFO.
Yep.
Can you imagine if, oh my God, can you imagine if, you get a little bit bigger one, right? And they show kickoff, and right there's it's just basically the Texas logo upside down.
Yeah, that was sick.
People will go crazy.
And the students they stay the whole time. They didn't against Northern Illinois, but
that's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
They were there the entire game. Hardly any seats empty. They were loud the entire game. That is what a student section looks like. And I thought the fan base was amazing yesterday. The people that were there were invested. And I applaud you guys. You have willed Mississippi State to a win over Arizona State, and you almost did it again. And you did it in spite of half the east side. I think it was half.
It was half.
Being orange. That was so embarrassing. That's embarrassing. And that was on the hard camera side where everybody could see.
So it looked like it.
That is a reflection of the university.
It looked at times like instead of doing a whiteout, that they had said, let's do half the stadium orange and half the stadium white.
Yeah.
They were at Neyland.
And here's the deal. I said it earlier. This is the time to buy stock in Mississippi State. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to give a little bit of a reprieve. the people that didn't buy season tickets, I kind of can't blame them.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of understand that. If you didn't buy season tickets this year after watching what you did last year, I can't tell you that you're not a good fan or whatever, because I don't know if I would want to waste my money after that. I still would. I sat through every game except for the Florida game in '04 of the Sylvester Croom era. So I probably would still be there. But if you're a person in this day and age with how much tickets cost, I totally get it.
Mm-hmm.
But for the last 3 weeks, people have had a chance to buy up those tickets that were remaining. There were thousands of tickets left. They had a chance to buy those up, and Tennessee fans gobbled them all up.
Mm-hmm.
So you've had a chance to get back on board, and it didn't happen. That to me is just it's a big issue, because
they got to figure that out.
I mean, at this point, it's like I said back in the day with when NIL was starting up, and like the people that were dismissive of NIL, like either you are bought in with Mississippi State athletics and you are legitimately, a fan of it, you're a fanatic, or it's just not that important.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said back then, if that's the way that you look at it, that is perfectly fine. But you can't be the person that is demanding change and demanding Mississippi State does this and this if you're not a stakeholder in it. That makes no sense. That's like complaining about politics and you didn't vote.
Mm.
So that's kind of where you're at. And unfortunately, the Texas and Georgia games are going to be similar to this, if not worse, because those same tickets that Tennessee fans gobbled up,
they are available.
Texas and Georgia fans did the same thing in the offseason.
Right now, State fans, if you're listening, is if those tickets are available, buy them. Because I just go and tell you, if we get to the last week and those tickets are still there, they will get bought by opposing fans.
And if you're a person that you can't go to the game, or you don't want to go and you want to make money, whatever, if that's what you do, cool. Find a State fan to give those tickets to. I know 100 people that were looking for tickets this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I know people that were sitting out in the junction that couldn't find tickets. Give those tickets to State fans. Don't put them on Ticketmaster. Go on social media.
There's plenty of ticket exchanges.
Me and tag Brian, we'll retweet it. Mississippi State, you can do a resale. Get them to State fans. Don't have an opportunity. And the people said, well, I put them on the third party. Mississippi State fans had a chance to get them. Yeah, but I mean, you have the ability to sell those to anybody you want to.
Yeah.
Find a State fan. You have social media. You're on a message board. Put them on there.
Yeah. Last thing I'll say is this. I don't expect there to be no opposing fans. Obviously, they're going to be there. But what happened yesterday was a problem, and it needs to be fixed. And
it didn't happen for Mississippi State fans.
For that reason, for the fans whose tickets ended up in the hands of Tennessee fans, there's no coffee.
And also the faculty situation, I want to clarify too on that, because I've talked to multiple Mississippi State people about this.
Mm-hmm.
The faculty had no additional charge on their seats prior to this season, from what I understand. They just basically pay for the seats. They don't pay a Bulldog Club premium, whatever. This year, they paid, I believe, 50% of the Bulldog Club dues.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's correct. Next year, I think it goes to 100.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for the faculty that religiously go to these games.
Mm-hmm.
That are there every single week. I legitimately feel bad for them, because they're getting painted as bad people. They're the problem, things like that. It's not always the case, but there are faculty members, I know a few of them, that they buy season tickets for the sole purpose of selling them for more than they bought them.
This is a perk of employment. It should not be something you're allowed to make money off of. I don't know the
They're making money off of it at the expense of Mississippi State's crowd too.
Yeah.
You're allowing.
Yeah.
Arizona State had people in those seats.
Yeah. So
it's just.
I just know there's a problem. So fix it. That's all.
And also going into next year, like you see this program now, like this is the time to start
doing
investing.
Yeah.
In the team next year, so this doesn't happen again.
All right. That was a long discussion.
We don't mean to preach. We're not trying to preach at you.
But at the same time, I can't not say something about that. So
we can't see that again.
Yes. Or the SEC. I know you think I'm going to go Arkansas here, right? They did fire their coach today. Sam Pittman is out, in case you missed that. Bobby Petrino back. But that's not who I'm going with.
And he will be the next head coach.
You think?
Yep.
I hope that's the case. I don't think he's.
I think it's going to be.
I hope you're right. I don't think he's the best choice.
He's not the best choice, but that's
So
what they'll get.
That will keep Arkansas not in. I don't think he's. You're not getting 2010 Bobby Petrino.
The game's changed.
Yeah.
No, they'll go after Rhett Lashley.
Yeah.
He'll probably turn it down.
They'll go after Golesh. They'll go after a few others. That said, Arkansas is not the loser here. They're not the one not getting coffee. It's LSU.
Mm-hmm.
LSU's number 4 in the nation. They can't move the football. I have never been more serious when I say, man, I wish Mississippi State played LSU this year. They can't score. They can't run the ball. And you got Brian Kelly calling reporters spoiled for asking the question, buddy, you can't score.
Who knew this was going to come back to haunt him after that?
Oh, it's whenever a coach does something like that, it's like, just write it down. That we're gonna circle back to that.
Yep.
I mean, I thought Ole Miss was going to win the game yesterday. Don't get me wrong. I predicted Ole Miss to win on this show. I predicted them to win on Sports Talk Mississippi. But it's incredible that we're 5 games in with an LSU team that brought back a ton of talent, that brought back the quarterback we all thought was going to be the top guy in this conference, and they cannot score. And now, well, we've been doing this to everybody else. Where's their schedule at? Where's the schedule? Here's LSU. Here we go. LSU, they're off this week. South Carolina, they played really well. That game is not by any stretch of the imagination. At Vanderbilt is a problem for LSU. Vandy has scored 50 points in the last 2 games. They got to play Texas A&M. They got to go to Alabama, who's suddenly back. And they got to go to
Are they
Oklahoma.
back, or they just have a hex on?
They have a hex on Georgia.
Georgia.
They go to Oklahoma at the end of the year. Guys, I don't know what's the deal with LSU, but no coffee. No coffee with chicory down there on the bayou.
It's just a bad fit. I just don't think Brian Kelly is a good fit for them.
Yeah, I feel like if they had Sarkisian, if they had Levy, if they had Lane Kiffin, they would be dominant.
Personality-wise, it just
doesn't work.
Weird.
All right. Nationally, I mean, who else, right? It's got to be Penn State. This is a real thing. They can't win big games. They cannot win big. And last year, they went to the college football playoff semifinal, right? You're thinking, okay, they must have won some big games. They beat SMU and Boise State.
Yeah.
When the pressure is on, when they have to play a top team, James Franklin cannot beat that team. They cannot.
And they're kind of like stuck in that.
They keep winning 10 games. You can't get rid of him. They need him to take. He needs to
take a job. Yeah.
They need Florida to offer him like $15 million a year, and we're like, all right, we can.
Yeah, that needs to be like a mutually parting of ways.
And then they should call Dan Mullen.
Ugh.
That's his dream job, though.
That's his dream job.
Yeah,
but they're going to shoot higher than
they
that.
probably would. But man, he would win there. But regardless, Penn State, no coffee. All right. Tomorrow's show, we'll recap what Jeff Lebby has to say at his weekly press conference. We'll do our picks. We're still tied. And anything else pops up between now and then, you're going to hear about it from us. Talk to you then. For Robbie Faulk, I'm Brian Hadad. Thanks for listening to Thunder and Lightning here on Super Talk, Mississippi.